Okay, so we got the Avid Pro Tools drama. This is from Barry John's Studio Talk. Avid, you did this to yourself.
Well, Avid, I guess you've done this to yourself. But for this guy, that's no surprise. It's
The crazy thing is he's made this video a bunch of times, dude. Like, I don't even know what... I'm really curious.
All right, so this morning I was reading...
I'm really curious what this video is going to be about because he's done... This smile's crazy. Hold on, look at this. So let's see how many times he's done this video. Okay, that's far enough. Okay, let's see how many times he's put Avid here. 19 matches. We got 19 matches here. So we got Avid, you did this to yourself. Avid quit ripping people off 1 month ago. Avid Yukon, that's not really like a video about that. Avid, pull your head out of your ass. Avid raising prices again. Let's see. Avid, you should fix this. Avid Pro Tools redemption. Avid sold for blood money. Avid, will you ever learn? All right, let's see.
No surprise at all. I'm going to give you guys a quick background on myself as it relates to my previous relationship with Avid for over 2 decades. I was a mix user and then an HD user using their TDM cards and then upgraded to HDX. And I was on the forefront of all of those technologies. I've spent way too much money on Avid products over the years.
Then stop. Then stop, man. just move on to Reaper. Barry believes that his videos have an impact on Avid, that he made Avid reinstate perpetual licenses. I seriously doubt that. Did they actually reinstate perpetual licenses? I thought they didn't. Did they? I don't know. I haven't been following it at this point.
And there was a time when they were absolutely needed. There's no question about it. Computers weren't as powerful as they are today, and there really wasn't anywhere near the competition that exists today as well. About 3 or 4 years ago, I started to get very, very frustrated with Avid and their policies, especially when they introduced the subscription model.
They did, but they made it confusing. That's probably why I didn't know anymore. Because I know you could buy like one of the older versions still, the perpetual license of it.
I thought that that was going to be the demise of them. I could not imagine why in the world anybody out there would subscribe to a mediocre digital audio workstation by today's standards. I mean, let's face it, if you think you need Pro Tools, you could not be more...
Wait, hey, pay attention.
...or wrong today. That is the truth for about 98% of people using digital audio workstations today. Yes, there are some that still need to use it, and I concede that. I absolutely concede that. But what people don't realize, and I can understand this and I can relate to this because you simply don't know what you don't know. I thought I was going to have a lot of problems migrating away from HDX. I thought, I've been on this for so long, there's no way in the world my computer is going to be able to keep up. Then came along Apple.
Dude, why does everybody got to give us a history lesson, man? I don't need the history.
Yes, I am a Mac user, so that's an important update to me. I'm in no way saying Mac is better than PC. I've got a lot of videos out there stating the fact that I think you can do great work on either one of them. That said, I'm a Mac guy. And with my M1 Pro, MacBook Pro, I mean, the very first...
I think objectively, Mac might be better for like audio and video work. Especially if you're in a laptop. I think.
First Pro version of it, it destroyed everything my HDX card could do. I can track through hundreds of tracks, through hundreds of plugins.
Yeah, I sped them up a bit.
With no audible latency at a buffer of 64. I said hundreds of
In particular, I think Mac is better because of the newer chips.
64.
I don't have like a top end Windows chip though, so I don't like listening to boomers. This guy he is a vector point of this Pro Tools thing.
Not once ever had to raise my buffer since I moved away. Now, to be fair, I don't use a lot of virtual instruments. So for those of you out there that do...
Definitely not. My laptop is way better and it costs less. Okay, I didn't say they cost less though. Just the battery life on a MacBook is so much better. It's so much better than a Windows PC. They may have something with this new Snapdragon laptops, but they're not out yet, I don't think.
You may find that a little bit harder to do. I can't speak to that. You know it better than I do. That said, I never needed it. And it was one of the most blissful things that I've ever had happen to me in all the decades that I've been involved in recording. And that goes back to the early 80s. I've been doing this a long...
What the hell, dude? What? How is this relevant?
Greedy company. It got to the point where they banned me from the DUC. They banned me because they didn't like what I had to say. I was always...
Okay, I'm kind of wondering if I need to see that. I need to see the crash out. We need to see the crash out that got him banned.
Professional about it. I never did any personal attack. I simply stated facts. And
yeah, Snapdragon makes ARM chips, so it'll be the Windows/Linux equivalent to the new Mac Silicon. Exactly.
They couldn't handle them. They wanted me to simply go away. Well, then I developed this channel and I developed an audience. And I've
Bro, I need to see the crash out that got him banned. Please.
grown this channel by being incredibly honest. Every review that I've ever done has been genuine and honest. I cannot be bought and sold by any company out there. Now, Avid reached out to me saying, basically implying, let's build a bridge. Let's get past all of this. So I had conversations with their VP of product development. And throughout all that, they wanted to bring me in on the newest tech. They wanted to make me part of what they had coming forward.
Well, they probably want you to kiss their ass if they're doing that.
Basically, they were like pharmaceutical company causing you to bend at the knee and bow to their will. I laughed at them. I literally laughed at them. That was the first time I laughed at them. They didn't like it too well, to the point they actually implied that they were going to bring out their lawyers against me.
Why don't you show the screenshots of this, dude? Because I'm a little questionable about things people are saying when they don't show stuff.
I laughed even harder at that time. I said, bring it on, boys. Bring it on. I cannot be bullied. I welcome that opportunity. So give it a try and let's see who wins in public opinion. Of course, they backed away from.
Bring it on, bitch. Bring it on. Let's see what you do. We could take us to the court of public opinion. We could take us to the actual court.
From that very quickly, and our conversations stop. Now again, my biggest gripe, I've had a lot of gripes with them, and there was a time it was a good company, but ever since the private equity gets involved, all they do is sit around and give themselves high fives in the boardroom and celebrate their successes and their bonuses at the end of the year. Meanwhile, they're laying off hundreds of people. I've never met a single person who used Media Composer and liked it. Not one. They all hate it. They all say, I wish we could get away from it, but we can't. I understand that. I get that. But that still speaks to the fact that they're making garbage even at the professional level. Recording studios are dead at this point.
Jesus. Are they really? Yeah, he is boring, but I mean, this is the vector point of the drama, guys. We need this, okay?
For all intents and purposes,
we need to tap in.
They're dead. You don't need DSP in your recording studio. Majority of you simply don't need it. Some of you do, as I stated before. So what has Avid done exactly? Well, they've boxed.
This is where the video starts at 5:45, by the way, guys.
Themselves into a corner and made their products unwanted.
Like, I feel like if more people scripted their videos, they would be like, you know what? I really don't need this like first 5 minutes of me just talking about the history of how I got into music production, why I'm banned from the DUC or whatever.
Just about everybody. Everybody I talk to hates Pro Tools and hates Avid. Only though.
Well, okay, wait. I only know one person who likes Pro Tools, and it's Devon Terrell. That's the one person who likes Pro Tools. I've never met a single other person that uses Pro Tools that likes Pro Tools. This guy's you 20 years later, Weaver, bro. I hope not. I hope not. I'm going to be long gone at this point.
With their head buried in the sand will say positive things about them. They may work with it because they feel they need to, and I have total respect for that. Look,
Tony Black, do you actually have positive things to say about Pro Tools at this point, though? Like, I feel like most of the positive things people say about Pro Tools are like kind of like them coping at this point, because they're just like they've been behind on a lot of things, and then like the monthly thing. I didn't know that they brought back perpetual licenses. So shaking your fist at Ableton in 20 years, oh my god, more like no tools. Am I right? Pro Stools, am I right?
We all get to choose which digital audio workstation we use, and we get to choose what gear we buy. And I'm not here to criticize anybody.
I guess the whole thing about like recording studios closing down is like some major studios, some like very famous studios have closed down within recent years, and it could be for a variety of reasons.
On any of that, you make your
like they want a lot of people want to pin it on certain things, but it could be for a variety of reasons. Could have been because of COVID. It could have been because there's more people recording at home now. It could be the music industry is having problems. It could be so many different things. Like, there's too many variables to really pin it down on anything. But it's also like, it's a small sample size too. People are just talking about like a few famous studios as opposed to like, oh, look at this. Like 90% of studios are closing. It's really hard to pinpoint if it's like really, like if that's what's happening, essentially.
Choices I've already made. I moved away back there on that screen. I use Cubase today, and that was a hard transition. And thanks to Chris Salim, Chris, I'm sorry if I'm butchering your last name. He has a YouTube channel.
A bunch of the legacy studios closed because the owners got old. They retired. Yeah, that's basically it. Like, it could just be like a time thing as well. Like, a lot of those people were of the same age and they decided to retire at the same time. Like, there's so many variables. You can't really pinpoint exactly what is the cause. And also, it's just like a handful of studios. It's not like it's like 50% of all like major studios.
I'm sure you know who he is. I actually bought his course. One of the best values I've ever spent on anything audio related was buying Chris's course. It made that transition.
What the fuck, dude?
So.
What are we talking about courses right now, man? And it's not even your course.
Much easier. Because Cubase does come at it from a totally different perspective. That said, I've got a lot of respect for Studio One. I like Logic. I use all of those here in the studio, and I enjoy them all. So back to Pro Tools. This whole subscription nonsense really pissed me off. It really upset me. And then they did away with perpetual. They made it where you could no longer buy
Bro, this video's crazy to
a
me.
perpetual license. What kind of idiocy is this? And of course, I applied a ton of social media pressure, as well as others did too. And I'm confident that I, as well as others, played a role in forcing their hand to bring it back. Now all I see is I'm flooded with emails, save 33% or whatever the crappy percentage is, on their god-awful ripoff. You get
Is this sped up? Oh my god, it is sped up. Okay, let's go a little faster.
absolutely nothing for anything. You absolutely own nothing, and that is a subscription to Pro Tools. You're being suckered. That's all I can tell you. You're being suckered. Those that think they're getting a great deal with the education version of that, I do agree it's priced competitively, but other manufacturers do the same thing. You just got to do your homework. So I was perusing through Reverb yesterday because I've got things for sale out on Reverb. I make custom panels for my Softtube Console 1, which I absolutely love. There's a link to my Reverb store down below, as well as my affiliate links to Sweetwater and Tomet.
Oh my god. Okay, we got like a couple minutes of video. Now we got some promo.
Just don't use those links.
Fuck me,
I'd
dude.
rather not have a piece of that pie. That's blood money as far as I'm concerned.
Blood money? Fucking blood money.
Anyway, I decided let me go do a search on used HDX cards.
It's about $10 per week. Yeah, but I mean, it's better to own something, you know? Like I pay for Adobe, but if I could just not pay for it legally, I would do that. Or if I could pay for it up front, I'd rather do that.
Average price of sold units was around $1,400 to $1,500. $1,400 to $1,500. Now, I would understand that low price if there'd been an announcement that they're going to come out with an updated
Wait, that's a low price?
system, but they're not. HD cards never lost their value based on a percentage that Avid is losing money on their used cards with TDM. The only time TDM prices truly dropped significantly is when HDX came out. Understandably so. They were a much more powerful card than what you could get on a
I haven't tried DaVinci yet. I heard I should though.
TDM. $1,400 to $1,500. Ask yourself, what does a brand new HDX card cost? Well, let me tell you, $5,000.
Bro, he's not providing any new information here.
Avid is selling
How do you get yourself to make a video you've made in the past already?
a single HDX
And then not be like, hey, I made this, maybe, oh my god, this is fucking dick. Maybe he forgot.
card for $5,000. And guess what? It doesn't come with Pro Tools Ultimate. You got to buy that on top of that. So what a scam this is. And for those people out there that say, I can just write it off, I run a business. Well, wasting your business's money is stupid. And you can also write off that $1,500 for that Mint used card. The likelihood that you're going to need warranty on a new HDX card is about slim to basically zero. There may be a few exceptions to that.
Okay, I think we got, all right. Okay, hold on. Now we have part 2 to this video. We have Bolo giving his take on this.
All right, so yesterday I watched a video from
Okay, he's got to be sped up too, but 1.5 might be too much. I know, guys. We got the double yapping. We're double yapping right now.
brother Barry Johns. If you guys do not know who he is a very knowledgeable person that has been doing studio work, recording, engineering for
He's a very knowledgeable person who's been bitched about Pro Tools a lot over the years.
a very long time, and I love his videos because they're just straightforward. He's talking, and you just feel like you're having a conversation with him, and he was talking about Avid and Pro Tools. And what I can say is that he is definitely correct, but I'm going to add my 2 cents on top of it and tell you guys why I feel that Pro Tools really has never been the industry standard.
No, it was a long time ago. It was a long time. It might still be technically in like major recording studios. Why do people keep telling me Timbaland's streaming right now? What am I supposed to do with that information? Okay, let's do this.
All right, first of all, I am still a Pro Tools user.
I love you, Weaver. I listen to your streams while I'm at work at Amazon, so I don't actually jump off the 4th floor. You have to be joking, right? You got to be fucking with me. I'm pretty sure you're fucking with me.
Not by choice, but really by force. Because I live in Atlanta, there's a whole bunch of studios. People record at their houses or they record at other studios. And they record with me, and I have to have Pro Tools because 9 times out of 10, if they want to take it somewhere, they can go ahead and take it there, and they have Pro Tools. So that is probably the only reason why I still have Pro Tools, okay? I have a subscription. I have my old perpetual license, and I have, I have another perpetual license as well.
What the hell, dude? I did not expect that.
But that is the only reason why I have Pro Tools right now, is because people bring me sessions, and sometimes I have to record, and they want to take their sessions with them. And to me, it still kind of confuses me to why everybody shifted to saying that Pro Tools is the industry standard when over the years it has proved that it's not the industry standard. Okay, there's a lot of features and stuff that came out in Pro Tools years after it's already been out on other programs. You got to think in the mid 2000s, I was using programs like Cubase and Nuendo. And Nuendo,
Bro.
Pro Tools, that when I finally moved back home and I built my own studio, I decided I needed a Pro Tools system too. And even though I bought it, I really didn't use
Bro, all these people, just get to the point,
I did because the features at the time.
Or if you're not gonna get to the point, at least put chapters.
Apple devices. So I actually was using
like, I don't care about your experience with Pro Tools.
2014, 2015. That's
I want to know either new information or I want a hot take. Okay, that's what I'm here for. I'm here for information or a hot take. If you're not giving me either of those things, you're not providing any value.
Crazy. And then we didn't get 48 tracks till like late 2008, early 2009. I can't remember. But the only thing I can remember about that is when they did come with that huge update.
If you're not in the industry, it isn't industry standard. I think it depends, because you can do stuff within the industry and not be industry. You can get a placement as an internet producer. I guess it depends what you're doing. I feel like it depends on what you're doing.
Where you can get 48 tracks finally on the LE version. When they sent out the serial numbers, they had a discrepancy with the serial numbers to where even if you bought the program and you had the serial number, it couldn't even work. Like you had to go back to like where you bought it, and then they had to like supply you with a different serial number for it to work. It was like a crazy mess when that thing came out. But over the years,
okay,
I kept thinking, okay, they're going to get this right. And the same thing Barry was saying is that they never really got it to where it was a true industry standard. It basically came about by having a whole bunch of people buy it and telling other people.
Timbaland stream, what the fuck, bro? It just, you're fucking with me. You're fucking with me right now.
People, hey, this program is the industry standard. When really the whole time.
Title, The Future of Music, the first thing they talk about is like, yeah, how they used to listen to records and like how they were born and how they started listening to music.
I feel like we were a little bamboozled.
I remember when I was a kid, I first heard this Black Sabbath album.
Because there was so many features that this thing did not have that other programs already had.
This is very true. This is very true.
To like even simple stuff like right now. Say for instance, like in Studio One, if I have an audio track that is on a particular track already, and let's just say, for instance, I want to...
Bro, you guys are all fucking with me right now. Nah, you gotta be. You gotta be.
Dub that audio track, or if I want to move it to another track, I can simply just drag it and drag it down to an empty slot, and it will make another audio track. That simple. Or...
This guy Weaverbeats is quitting right now. Dude, Weaverbeats is having a baby live right now on his stream. Dame Taylor said he's joining the Air Force.
Let's just say, for instance, if I want to run 3 or 4 different tracks to one bus, I can highlight the buses, and then I can just click on one button, and I can send all of those tracks to a bus or to an aux. Pro Tools, you cannot do that. And this is stuff that can be done in just about every...
man.
Now, they do have subscription services with these other places, but you own the program or you own the license once that year is up with a lot of these programs. And even with Logic, once you pay for it one time, it's yours. You own that license.
What the fuck, dude? How does this video get fucking 50,000 views, 2,600 likes? What is this, dude? There's nothing in here. This is like a nothing burger. This whole thing is fucking nothing burger.
With Pro Tools to be limited in what you have, and then you have to now...
Well, I know you're hearing the stream sometimes, bro. This is a nothing burger video. What the hell is this?
Now every year have to upgrade it, pay to upgrade it, then you have to pay another year to upgrade this, and then if you don't have like your perpetual license, you just have to just, strictly stay with, the subscription. That's kind of crazy, and it's still very limited. Like this program is still like a program that just came out in like 2008. Like it has 2008 features in it.
True.
They made it look a little bit better. They added some rounder edges to it and a few other things to it, but you really still cannot do much inside of Pro Tools. In Logic, as me being a producer, I can go in.
One of the problems I always have with Pro Tools when I learned it a little bit in audio engineering school, is a lot of things, you can do a lot of the same things in multiple ways, and it makes it feel overly convoluted.
Logic, produce a whole track and then turn around and record audio on that track and make a full, complete song using MIDI, using audio. I don't have to add any other samplers to it. Like if I want to do bass runs or if I want to add a certain sample to a track and make that run up and down the...
Like I think one thing a lot of people are looking for these days is workflow and convenience. And I feel like Pro Tools and Reason, maybe some other DAWs too, have always had like an issue with that.
There's on the keyboard, I can go in, I can add my audio to it. They have a whole bunch of features and plugins to where you can do everything.
Now I'm not saying you can't work in them. I'm just saying like it's not accessible. It's not accessible for like new people. Just sometimes things need to be simple. It's better to make things simple if they don't need to be complicated.
Inside of that program. Same thing with Studio One. I can go into Studio One, produce a whole track in Studio One, and then turn around and record in Studio One, which by far, Studio One has some of the best recording functions that I've ever used. It is way superior than what Pro Tools has right now. You can go through and do so much stuff for audio. Then you have certain mix templates you can go through in there. They have a mastering template in there. The automation is crazy. Everything is crazy inside of Studio One. You can do the same thing inside of Cubase. You can produce in it, record in it.
I mean, bro, templates, is that where the bar is at? We're hyped about templates right now. Dude, Studio One, it has a fucking mastering template, dude. What? It's got a mastering template. Yeah, you just open it and then you put your track in there and then you master it. It's fucking crazy, man.
Reaper, you could do the same thing. Like, it is.
Okay, Reaper is not super accessible either. I mean, it's good. Like, it's kind of got like that same sort of Pro Tools thing where it's like, you can do a lot of different shit in it, but then it's like cheap or free, depending on how you go about it. And then it's also really customizable, but it's not, I don't think it's like accessible.
So many programs to where they have so many features and so many functions that are way more superior than Pro Tools, but then Avid is still trying to convince us that Pro Tools is the industry standard. And to be honest with you,
are people, okay, wait, hold on. Is Pro Tools even trying to convince people that they're industry standard anymore? I feel like the main people trying to convince that it's industry standard are other industry producers and audio engineers. Okay, this is hilarious. Pro Tools makes music creation fast and fluid. Sure about that?
You sure about that?
Providing a complete set of tools. Yeah, they don't even really like say every great session starts with an idea. It doesn't really get into the whole thing about it being industry standard. I feel like the only people really like trying to convince everyone that's industry standard is other audio engineers.
It never really was industry standard. I just think that a lot of people jumped on the bandwagon, including me, jumped on that bandwagon and was saying, oh, got to use Pro Tools. And to be honest with you, the only reason why I used it is because so many other people had Pro Tools at their house thinking that you have to use Pro Tools.
True.
Once I started using stuff like Studio One and Logic more and more, and I was seeing how easy it is to, like, you know, cut audio, move tracks, put tracks on buses and auxiliary, you know, channels and stuff like that, it made all the sense in the world. The only reason why I still use Pro Tools is because people still send me tracks and Pro Tools, but now I'm seeing more and more people sending me tracks in Logic.
I work in post-mixing for TV/film, and I think this mostly applies to that side of the industry. Yeah, I don't know a lot about that, but yeah, I have heard that before.
Logic. There's a lot of people that's recording in Logic and they're sending me.
Then why did every major studio in at least the US have Pro Tools but not other DAWs? He's clueless.
Those sessions and stuff like that to mix rather than Pro Tools. And I'm seeing a lot of Studio One stuff as well. Like, there's so many other avenues out there other than Pro Tools that is much better, much easier to use, and it is just a better overall experience. So yes, I do definitely agree with Barry with what he's saying. If you guys want to watch his video, please go ahead and watch his video. I'm going to put a link in the description so you guys can watch his video. And one thing I do want to say is I was thinking that Pro Tools was going to be on the up and up, but right now it is very stagnant. And for me being a producer who needs producer tools along with vocal tools as well, I just don't think Pro Tools is stacking up to some of the other programs right now, just being honest.
Yeah, if we're talking about like for the regular user, for sure. Okay. If I was starting the business from right now, I'd probably use Studio One, Logic, or quit the business. If I was starting music right now, I'd probably quit.